Today has been a really good day. It's only, let's see, what time is it here? It's noon here, or maybe it's 1 o'clock here. It's 1 o'clock. My first class was at 10. So my general schedule is that I get up about 6 or 7 in the morning and I work for my employer for 3 or 4 hours. And then I go to class and then I come home and I do some more work in the evening. But today I have an early class. Most of my classes don't start till 3. Today I had an early class, and then I have one that starts at 5. So I walked to the campus, I walked back, and I'll go back at 5 for my second class. But it's a beautiful day in Ireland today. I don't know when it starts getting cold or how cold it gets or what the weather's like, but I have had nothing but gorgeous weather in September. It's rained yesterday, but I was in the house, so it didn't matter. But that's really, I think, the only rain I've had since I've been here. So beautiful, beautiful weather. I took my normal walk to class. I know how to get there now without my GPS. Yay me. I found shortcuts to some of my classes today, so that was fun. Um, and on the way to class, what I've discovered, I have all this reading to do. And I have these 30-minute walks to and from. So today I figured out how to download my readings to an MP3 and listen to them as I'm walking. So now I'm not wasting my 30 minutes there and my 30 minutes back. And I love that. I think that's very efficient and I love it so much. And it's easier to listen to them than it is to read them. When I try to read some of this stuff, I fall asleep. Like I sit in my chair and I'm reading this very dry information and it puts me right to sleep. So I was really excited about that. My class was amazing, but I'll talk about that in a second. But after my class, I had lunch with a classmate, which was so nice of her to ask me to come and eat with her. And then came home and I stopped at a park and watched little kids play. That was fun. And took some pictures of the trees that are changing already. And again, I made it home with no GPS. So I know where I'm going in Ireland. Mary Person, you should be so proud of me. The class is amazing. The class is on climate justice. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about it because I don't really know all about it. But what it's really about is justice for future generations, right? So can we make decisions today on our behavior that will not negatively and take into account how those decisions are going to affect our future generations, right? So for instance, right now, I know America is not on board so much, but right now we know that the rest of the world and 99% of scientists know that climate change is a thing, and that stuff that our parents did and that their parents did, past behaviors have influenced the climate change issues that we are having now, right? And our behaviors are going to affect the issues that future generations are going to have, right? However, those future generations have no voice, right? Because, well, they're not born yet. But even like our children, our babies, our 15-year-olds, our 16-year-olds, all those who can't vote, the decisions we're making right now, politically, environmentally, are going to affect them in the future, and it's going to affect their children, and it's going to affect their children. So, so I was astounded. Maybe it's not astounding to the rest of you, but that there are actually things in place that are trying to address that issue. The UN has some things in place. Other countries have some things in place about protecting future generations. And there are people who argue against it, saying, well, those future generations are not here yet, so we're not going to protect them, we're going to protect us. So there's lots of that kind of conversation. So it's very interesting, very, very interesting conversation. And in my class, there are 10 or so students, and these are not all anthropologists. This is a sociology class, so it's an elective for me. So it's other students. There's a couple of Germans, there's somebody from Switzerland, there's someone from Ireland, there's all different nationalities, and they're all, mid 20s, maybe. They are so in tune with this issue and how we deal with it. They have so many ideas. They really engage. So it's very interesting. I just think it's just very interesting. And there is, let's see, there's a group called Stop Ecocide, which is like genocide, but for the for the for the for nature, and they have been putting together a legal group that are fighting for the rights for these future generations. And there was actually one in the United States, Oregon versus Juliana, or the other way around, and they won. The Juliana won against the United States. So it's very interesting. And there's like so much to learn that I don't have any idea about. But one of the things I thought was really interesting was that climate change, the heat index, affects our urban areas more than it affects our suburban areas, and it affects those people who live, black and brown people who live in the poorer neighborhoods. That there have been studies that show that because there's no green space, because it's all asphalt and concrete, those things hold heat and then release the heat at night. There have been studies that show that like 94% of these poorer areas, these socioeconomic areas that are less than, have 4 to 5 degree temperature increases than the rest of us. And temperature increases do affect our health. They affect our heart. They affect our and the elderly are particularly affected. The elderly and the young. And there have actually been 37% of heat-related deaths in the world have been attributed to climate change. And that number is very small because most countries are not putting that on the death certificate, but some countries are. And those countries that are 37% of heat-related deaths are attributed to climate change. And then the other thing that I thought was really interesting was that our constitutions in the world, all of our constitutions, many of them actually do reference future generations. I don't think ours does. I don't think the United States does. But Bolivia, Brazil, Africa, German, Irish all say things in their constitutions about future generations. So the lawyers that are going after some of these people about climate change are using those constitutional words. Anyhow, that's a lot of information that and it just touches the tiniest little bit of knowledge that I have. Oh, the other thing that I thought was really interesting today that we talked about was democracy in general. Democracy, the democracy experiment, is all about us changing our opinions, our morals. That's what it's about. It's about, changing it as the times change, right? So what we believed in 1776 maybe isn't what we believe in 1976, maybe isn't what we're going to believe in 2076. And it's our job as citizens to express the differences of opinions, the differences that we think we need to see. And it's democracy's job to cuss and discuss that and decide whether to make laws about it. So anyhow, I just thought my class was very interesting. I think this subject is very interesting, and I can't wait to learn more about it. It's eye-opening. That's all. See you guys later.